That's a vibe. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. Oh, that's a vibe. Yeah.
No, I don't like that. We gonna hold on. Let me find something else.
Don't you worry.
Young nigga, don't tell me. Young nigga, don't tell me. Coming through the bands. I bet I make your phone stop ringing. Those niggas won't call you again. Bring the noise to them niggas. It's out and it's obvious. The strange shit I do, the things that you see, the bottles I pop, the way that I speak. I'm out in these, I'm shining on these. No turning down, how you turn me up. The bright lights will burn you up from LA to the MIA to the up top. I've been on my way. Kandi, 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 and then the Kandi. Start to say young nigga, just a young nigga, don't tell me nothing. Sing the young nigga, just a young nigga, don't tell me nothing.
She say, I make her wanna get dressed more. Never talk about the sex, make her want sex more. I met her on the 55th floor. Told her it's a party next door. She used to think about her ex more. Now she shop at Rolex more. Letting go of regrets more. I gave her game and motivation, now she blessed more. Thumbing through them bands, busting checks more. Found herself, now she demanding respect more. Don't ever turn me down, that's what stress for. And we can travel around, that's what jets for. I'm the type to leave a mark on your neck more. LeBron clutch purse in your legs door. Realism got you feeling the effects more. Fuck it, I might just take you with me on my next tour.
Coming through the bands. I bet I make your phone stop ringing. Those niggas won't call you again. Bring the noise to them niggas. It's out and it's obvious. The strange shit I do, the things that you see, the bottles I pop, the way that I speak. I'm out in these, I'm shining on these. No turning down, how you turn me up. The bright lights will burn you up from LA to the MIA to the up top. I've been on my way. Kandi, 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 the Kandi, and then the Kandi. Start to say young nigga, just a young nigga, don't tell me nothing. Sing the young nigga, since a young nigga, don't tell me nothing.
Hey. So, hello. Ooh wee. What a Friday, right, Storm? Dude. So, what we are going to do is we're going to start off and let y'all know that I am very excited that it is Friday because, hey, one, it's the weekend. And everybody can, at least chill and relax and relieve a lot of tension from the week because this has been actually a very anxiety-filled week. And even though a lot of it was only on yesterday, that is definitely not the point. But this week, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, the absolute end-all be-all, if you will, of 2020. We mad close, dog. It is definitely the last little bit you could do in this little fourth quarter of the year here. So I need y'all to really kind of think about what you did, what you didn't do, what you kind of said that you wanted to do, and, kind of put that in perspective because the next year, I don't think we need to be playing with in terms of how we saw this year go. Just keeping it funky. So I want y'all to really, kind of take heed to that. This is not nothing to play with, y'all. We had a really rough year. Elections, deaths, freaking good music, crazy people, and all the protests and riots and all the random shootings that are actually more normal than random. I digress. It's just a lot going on, okay? So we need to truly take this little time. It's about to be Thanksgiving. Love one another, love each other. Start thinking about these goals. So maybe you can start like really manifesting them and like implementing some things before next year gets here. Okay? So it is official. Georgia is blue. It's like all the way real deal Holyfield right now. You know what I'm saying? I do think it's quite funny that our current person that we happen to have in office thinks that it's an okay thing to sue people, to, you know, make all these accusations against people as if it makes sense. Let's start there. I mean, a lot of it really doesn't make sense, and it's just not making him look good, to be honest. It's really not. And that, to me, kind of makes us as a country look a little bad, because that's who's supposed to be our forefront, you know, who's leading us, if you will. And that really don't look good. So, sorry for you, but not sorry. That also led Biden to completely, I think, even though without Georgia, he still would have been claimed. But it's like, boom, super stamp, you know. So, sorry for you, but not sorry. Okay, Trump, like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that there's much you should be trying to do besides clean up whatever mess you feel like you got, you know what I'm saying? Or do a lot of the things that you feel like you need to do before you are not president anymore. You know, save face that way. But the way you trying to go about it, nah, bruh. It's not, it's not cute. No. It makes us look bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like when your mama go and do something, you know what I mean? You know, you don't want people picking at you for what your mama do, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa. Your mama always told you what happened in my house, stay in my house, you know? So if you go out acting a fool, that's also a reflection on her, and that's why you getting beat up. So I think that, you know, he really should have some kind of advice like that. You know, hey, bro, whatever you feel like you doing and beating your chest, King Konging it and all that, it's looking mad ignorant, dog, and it's making us look mad ignorant. Like, somebody should have that kind of conversation, you know? Help him because it's just not looking good. It's really not. And a lot of the things that we got going on is starting to, I guess, refresh or replenish the country. You know, I think we're moving in a more positive direction, because even though we still have to wait for everything to transpire, you know what I'm saying, January 21st, I get that. I still think that as a country, it kind of helped create a shift. Trump is definitely that fine line of, you know, which way we gonna shift in, but I do think that it's been a really decent shift in the country in terms of how people are trying to view. It's like, you know, when you get a glimpse of hope. So I think that is a beautiful thing, and you guys should just keep doing that, okay? Keep on with the keep on, because it's not like we really know what's gonna happen until it happens anyway. We just made the first step. There's also still runoffs going on, so make sure that you're doing your due diligence there too. It's just a couple people that are worthy people. I hope you guys are kind of listening to them. Not for nothing, they got mad commercials right now. So if you at this point, you know, they the only people, you know, that I guess can have that spotlight right now. So they going for it. And the commercials are kind of eerie. They starting to get real nitty gritty right now. But hey, y'all make sure that you get out there, okay? They're still early voting for that. And then, of course, we still have some time when it's actually time to regular vote for that. So make sure that you go out there. I think we showed out for the presidential election, but that is not the only election and not the only people we want you all to care about and to vote for and to help to create the change. You know, we always talk about locals and, you know, how you can help your actual community. And these are ways that you can do that, not just the president. You know, you actually got to start small before you get up there, right? So I think that a lot of people need to take heed to the local politics that you can actually make changes in, because when you make them little changes, hey, it's just like keeping a piggy bank. You keep adding all them little pennies. After wow, boom, we got some dollars. So, you know, you got to, you know, think about the optimism here. You know, I like the glass half full thing. You know, I don't ever look like it's half empty. I don't care how you look. So, kind of, you know, just, man, I want you guys to really be more positive. It's the end of the year. The one sad thing that I think we're all kind of, dreading, to be for real, is the first holiday that we have to go through during pandemic. We're definitely going to dig more into that for our potentially petty, but I do think that is something that is on people's minds. It's a sad to say. I think that that's also going to be the next thing to help divide the country. However, I don't want it to. So that's why later on we're going to go into different ways that you guys can still celebrate the holidays, especially the one coming up next week, but being safe and making sure that you're doing your part. Okay? Other than that, I also want to know what Storm has going on. His over-under is awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this track real quick. When we come back, we're going to dissect this verses because I got to get it off my chest along with the shirt I'm wearing. But you're tuned into IssaVibe right here on Atlanta's Next 100. Stay tuned.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jada. Make sure you tune in and check out our new show, Next Now, weekdays 12 to 2 on ATL's Next 100. Our community, our station.
Atlanta's home for hip-hop and R&B. ATL's Next 100. Yeah. Therapy, baby. For my soul. Yeah. Just trying to heal, you know? Yeah. Been listening to my thoughts and lately I've been concerned. Feel like my soul on fire, let that motherfucker burn. Ain't nobody gave me shit, I wait my motherfucking turn. I had a few hits, even had a few misses. Got clumsy in the kitchen, even broke a few dishes. Street lights scarred me, my soul need therapy. I ain't never been the one to complain, that's when I lose. Made moves and paid dues, walk in my shoes. It's like a nigga came with directions, I really made me. I was drowning, then I threw me a float, I really saved me. Put down everything that I love, that's on my legacy. Never fucked over nobody to make a better me. If you ask her what happened with King, we grew apart. Tried to sue, he took me to court, shit broke my heart. Same nigga, you made a millionaire, sue you for millions. Main man and he wanted all, none for my children. If 1-5 wasn't my dog, I would've touched him. When that shit went down with Gibbs, I couldn't trust him. Invested my hard-earned money, tied up my bread. But he gon' try to tell you I'm flawed, that's in his head. It's happening just the way that I said it, good on your own. If I'm honest, nothing gangster about you, leave us alone, yeah. And everybody wondering what happened with me and Coach. Same shit that happened between Tommy and Ghost. Yeah, the checks coming in, but the trust ain't there. Would say it's all him, but that wouldn't be fair. I was fresh up out the streets trying to fight my own demons. Knew something wasn't right, guess I had my own reasons. Mission impossible, I ain't underplaying that. Shake took his own life, I ain't understand that. Had me feeling numb, laid in bed for a week. I didn't close one time, that's a week with no sleep. I'ma keep it solid, he the reason me and Ross talk. Never ashamed to admit that I was wrong, yeah, that's boss talk. Since we talking boss talk, let's address the sucker shit. Grown man playing on Instagram, real sucker shit. Why the fuck that clown nigga playing with my legacy? Solid in these streets, that's some shit that you would never be. Talking about power, weak niggas do the most. Real life, nigga, you really borrow money from ghosts. All that little boy shit, yeah, it make it evident. Made millions in the street, what the fuck is 50 Cent? And it's still free meat, love him if he right or wrong. But the streets wanna know, do we really get along? If you're asking me, nigga, that's 1000%. If I did something wrong, then I gotta repent. Ain't no hatred in my heart, ain't no hatred in my veins. If you felt me being distant, think it's time to explain. I was sticking to my plan when Ralph Simmons took the stand. He tried to G money me, what's happening with your man? Tried to throw me in your case, guess he trying to save face. No exception, know the rules, I just handled it with grace. And I ain't saying that you told him to do it, I know better. Still the same nigga, nothing but love, that's forever. See my ego and my pride, yeah, I put it all aside. Reminiscing about all them late nights we used to vibe. When it's all said and done with brothers, your mother love us. The feds in your dirty, can't stand the motherfuckers. Speaking about brothers, welcome home, T. A nigga might owe you money, but that nigga ain't be looking for the truth, cause that shit be hard to find. All these lies and these rumors fucking with my peace of mind. Been listening to my thoughts and lately I've been concerned. Feel like my soul on fire, let that motherfucker burn. Ain't nobody gave me shit, I wait my motherfucking turn. I had a few hits, even into my thoughts, and lately I've been concerned. Feel like my soul on fire, let that motherfucker burn. Ain't nobody gave me shit, I'll wait my motherfucking turn. I had a few hits, even had a few misses. Got clumsy in the kitchen, even broke a few dishes. Street life scarred me, my soul need therapy. Therapy for my soul.
I'm fun. Oh God, that was fun. All right, so we are back, and yo, we're gonna go ahead and have this conversation because Atlanta is such a fun and pleasant place sometimes, most of the time, to be for real. But the one thing that I think that we saw throughout this versus, like, a lot of people do sleep on the South. I admit that. A lot of people do. Like, a lot of my favorites, if you will, are up top artists. I mean, I'm not ashamed of that. But a lot of my supreme nostalgia is what is Atlanta. And the world this year, I think, really got to see Atlanta. Like, in terms of how it made us feel, how prideful people are to be from here, how the music really changed different, like, eras in the game. Like, it's a beautiful thing. However, y'all, we gonna be honest. The verses last night, though, was fun as shit. But when I say that all 1.6 to 7 million people that was watching felt all the tension that could possibly cut through a whole hippo was ridiculous. That was just reckless. Now, and y'all seen all the little memes and stuff, all the little, you know what I'm saying, early morning Facebook, you know, posting all that stuff. Like, people were, yo, the divide of who won, who supposed to be, you know, really okay with what happened. Like, it's reckless at the end of the day. I think that the one thing we should all take away from anything is growth. Now, how a person grows, cool, okay? But I like to be 1,000 in this, and I feel as if how Gucci wanted to respond, I don't feel was truly warranted. It's like when you keep picking and poking at a bear, right? And then the bear decided to, like, kind of talk you down. I'm like, look, bro, look. And you still want to poke at the damn bear. Like, that just didn't make sense to me. Like, the first track you came out was, like, you know what I'm saying, was really shots fired. Like, you just kept throwing blows, even just on a music level. And, I mean, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we don't like your tracks now, but to me, the verses has what I would consider an itinerary, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's truly doing hit for hit. So, you know, people are looking at real hits stuff that we want. You know what I'm saying? Not the tracks that you want to play, the tracks that we want to hear. I think that's how the verses, like, when they look at the track list, I think that's truly how they look at it. You know what I'm saying? The stuff they like, man, that was the jam. Oh, snap. Like, I think that's how they kind of try to construct that. Even the DJs, like, the stuff that you would hear in the club that really get the crowd bumping is not the same stuff that, like, you know, is maybe the most fan favorite, you know what I'm saying, from, say, mixtape or, like, them digging the crepes type tracks, if you understand where I'm going, you know. So when you got the world viewing, you partying for the world, not for the best of the best fans or the deep, hard, die-hard fans. No, it's for the 1.6 to 7 million people that the why they love you antic, if you will. That's how I view that. Like, the fact that you were bothered by doing old Gucci tracks was kind of disheartening. Like, that's what we want, Gucci. Like, that's why we like Gucci. You know what I'm saying? All the new stuff that you got, that's cool. you know, you want us to continue to love you, continue to, I guess, grow with you, if you will, and, you know, see what you got coming up next. I'm with it. I'm not against that. You know what I'm saying? You can still doing your craft. Do that. But, bro, and I think all of that led to build on the tension that he had. You know, the fact that he just didn't want to do things. It was just like he was just kind of difficult in a situation, which made it awkward sometimes. And I think that was uncalled for. So on the flip side of that coin, you know what I mean? You got Jeezy, who was like, okay, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to just go ahead and address the elephant in the room and be like, hey, da-da-da. Kind of put it in perspective. I think that was commendable because he didn't have to do that. He could have just let you keep talking that, you know, and truth be told, just kind of not looking good. I mean, come on now. It's a world party. A world party. And not to mention, both of you, your, you know, press and all that, you know, whoever your PR, whoever your little crew is and stuff like that, those are the people who also kind of second and was like, yeah, let's go do this. So if you really didn't want to do something, if you felt like this was going to be nothing but space and opportunity, you brought all that heat. So you know what I'm saying, were the one making all of that kind of heat going on, all that tension going on, and that was uncalled for. So everybody want to be all happy and gung-ho about him kind of showing his ass. That ain't cute. You can come looking grown, but you still have to play the part, my dude. That's what I think, for real, for real. You can come looking fly as all get out. Like, everybody wanted to pick at Jeezy because he came in a jersey. Like, no, we want to see the Jeezy we want to see. So if we, you know what I'm saying, hey, we want to see Mr. 17.5. If he came out looking like 05 Jeezy, that's what we want because that's what we expect. Like, yo, I went to a concert that and I got all of who I thought he was, and that's what I want. So I'm happy and proud of that. And when you kind of keep pushing somebody to kind of force them to get out of their character, they only got one or two ways, right? Either you finna jump out of character and it's all clapback season, or I'm just going to, hey, in some form, way, shape, or fashion, politely let you know, hey, this is what it's finna be, because it's not cool. And I think we could all learn from that. For real, for real. It's still all boiled down to them actually still performing a song they had together, So I See, which was an iconic moment for me, because that's my jam. That's my jam. Like, real deal Holyfield. Though I would have wanted to hear the whole thing all the way out, because the end is my favorite part. But I digress. I still appreciate that they did that. I mean, doing it for the culture is what it's all about. Like, I think Versus was created to do it for the culture. So it should have embodied that by all means. The fact that we even had to have that heat, the fact, you know, no, that was totally uncalled for. Like, let us love you for being you. Like, let's look at it like this. That Monica and Brandy versus, right? For all we know, they still hate each other. For all we know. But they managed to get through it. You know, whatever little awkward photos, you know, the meme world managed to take from all that, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what it is. But at the same time, they managed to come together and look how they want to look and act how they're supposed to act for their fans. This versus ain't got nothing to do with y'all as the artists. Y'all know that, right? Granted, you know, you get streams and all that stuff, you know, after the fact, but it's not for you. It's not. Who picks the verses? We do. So I think y'all need to start kind of more humbling yourself when y'all got to get on these platforms, because it's not nothing that's going on in that moment is about y'all. It's not. You know who wanted to see the feud totally squashed? We did. You know who've always wanted to see y'all performing together? We did. So y'all doing it for us. You're doing it for the culture. It ain't got nothing to do with how y'all feel, bro, at all. So hopefully it is, in fact, an authentically squashed beef. I hope so. I mean, because what's the other result? Later on, somebody else gonna die and we lose more rappers? Because that's ignorant, dog. And it's getting old. So that's definitely something I just want y'all to think about. I loved it. That was one of the best verses to me, like, for real. Even though I was definitely, and I still am, Team Jeezy all day, okay? Yes. Young Jizzle from the bottom of the mountain. Yes, that was one of my favorite concerts to date, for real, for real. But I still managed to, like, be like, oh snap, like when I'm a dog, yes, I'm just saying. So it was a lot of hits that Gucci, when he decided to really dig in them crates, I was like, yes, finally, that's my jam. There you go. Okay then, you led me to the zone of when I loved me some Gucci, and that's what we wanted as a fan. So I thank you, brothers, for doing that, for doing it for the culture. But I hope y'all understand why you was doing it for the culture, because it ain't got nothing to do with y'all. For real. It don't. So, Storm, I know that may have not been the battle for you, but it does pose a hype question for me, because that particular feud and beef has been for over 20 years. Now, granted, you just in your 20s, but say hypothetically you like a hot 35 pushing 40, and it's just things from your past that, people that you may have not spoken to in years, you may have despised them, but you're not that same person no more. I don't think anybody is the same person at 35, 40 years old that they were at 15 to 25, So how do you feel about holding on to grudges and holding on to pain?
I think it just depends on the severity of the grudge. You know what I mean? Like with this particular beef, I have no idea what the backstory is between the two of them. I only know Gucci Mane as the guy who said, "Don't get lost in the sauce." That whole meme. And I only know Jeezy.
The intro for one of the shows I was
like I know
funny.
of Jeezy, but I don't really know anything about him. I've heard a couple of his verses because he features on a lot of stuff, but I have no idea what's going on there. But as far as just holding grudges in general, it seems better in theory. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be bitter at this person. Like, I'm gonna cut them out of my life. I don't need them. Blah 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 blah. But to me, it just seems kind of like a waste of energy. And like, if you don't need them, then just don't interact with them. And if you have to interact with them, or like if you're in the same field or whatever it is, just stay in you guys' own lane, obviously. But it changes. Like if someone murdered one of my family members, I would be very upset about that.
Now,
like, you know what I mean? So it just...
it's not even funny, but here's what's funny. You don't even know what happened, but that's what happened. So, well, a lot of people consider homeboys and friends family. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? And some people are, in fact, cousins, that, hey, distance, whatever. So, okay. Someone very, very close to you does die, It's now a bounty, on people's head. And, like, it is a lot. Their backstory is sad. Atlanta was mad sad during that time. But what I will say is, I don't think anybody should tell a person how to grieve from death, but there's still a level of you have to move on. There still should be a level of death doesn't have to be begot death at some point. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Boys in the Hood, dude, yes. What? Oh, you gotta go die right now. You know what I'm saying? But if you've we're talking over 20 years. That's a lot of time to go by. A lot of time to go by. And I feel like that should give more people to think about. Now, what I will leave you all with in terms of Gucci in that regard is he seems to be a very happy man right now, in a happy place. So the fact that is the person that still came out, I think it's still surprising to me. To some, it may not be because of who he is. But for me, no, it's still very surprising. Like, you're married, your lady about to have a baby. Like, your life looks beautiful. Granted, that's the outside looking in because, I don't live in your house. But your life looks beautiful. And for this to still be a sore wound, it should have been worked out before now. And if it wasn't worked out, you should not have agreed to do the verses.
I mean, with a situation like this, though, do you think it's possible it's more of a financial decision because they know that this is going to get a lot of attention?
The only reason why I say yes is because of the type of character that he has. But the reason why I would say no is because he's very boastful about how much money he got. So for somebody that clearly don't need no bread, this shouldn't have been looked at like that. You know what I mean? So, not to mention that the original verses was T.I. and Jeezy, was it not? So, at some point in a very short amount of time, right? Because me and you, like we already talked about on the format, like I was gonna do that, right? Didn't do it. So, the fact that in a short period of time, that was something that was able to be conjured up. I mean, they had an after party at the compound. So look, you know what I'm saying? Y'all was able to throw stuff out the hat, you know what I'm saying, and have a real deal party about this whole thing. So if all of that heat was for publicity, I don't like it. If y'all felt like we wanted to see that kind of beef, I don't agree. I think that was definitely too much tension, and y'all shouldn't want people. I wouldn't want nobody like, yeah, my friends know I'm crazy. I'm with that, whatever. A lot of people know I'm probably okay, but there's a certain level of crazy that, or really bout that life, that I would not want all of my fans or followers to view, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like how I may talk to my baby daddy, I don't want certain people to know that's how I talk to him. Whatever. You know? How I may talk to like a different or a certain ex, you know, for that matter. I wouldn't want nobody to know that that's how I really talk, you know what I'm saying? Say even from a happy place, you know, how I really am. You know, I don't want nobody to know how I really am, you know? So there's different levels to you as a person that I think, even from a celebrity stance, that they don't want people to see. And for me, that should have been one level that we don't want to see. Like, anybody who know Gucci for real or lived in the city for real, you know how yes, duh. We know that you'll pop off. I mean, come on. We know that it's really not too many words, you know, if you really wanted to get down like that. We get it. We know that. But the reality is that you supposed to not be that person no more. You walking around looking mad happy. You done lost mad weight. You know what I'm saying? You look like the healthiest brand new person. They thought you was a clone for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you this whole brand new person. So it didn't warrant for us to see that old person anymore, you know? And I think that that's something that Jeezy also kind of let us see, is the fact that we know that he'll pop off too. We know that he bout that life, but we also know that he's now trying to portray and show people that he is the new evolved person. It's not so much that you change, it's that you evolve. And for us to see these two men both evolve into what looks as happy lives, we shouldn't have seen that. Grudge or no grudge. Because both of y'all agreed to do the verses in the first place. And if you thought it was going to be some y'all shouldn't agree to do it. I think that, you know, come on. You know, one of the posts that I saw is Jeezy should have never agreed to do it. And in that moment, I was like, you know what? You onto something. Because that's, you know, if you know that people are just going to still be themselves and not their best self, don't get involved.
I feel like that's easier said than done, though. Because, like, I'm sure that as soon as... Wait, who was the one who started the re-hypening of the beef? Who was the first person to be like, let's do this cypher?
Well, I you know what? I don't even know who... I don't know if it was us as fans that made that decision to change from T.I. to Gucci. But it happened, and whoever had to talk to them still had to talk to them and get that done. Whoever's running verses, whether it's Timbaland and Swiss, whoever decided to have that conversation with these two grown men still had it. So
let's attempt to put ourselves in Gucci and Jeezy's shoes for a second. Like, if you're a rapper, obviously we know this is a very like bravado driven field. You know what I mean? So if people in his group are like, hey, he says he's going to do this, are you going to do it? I feel like it's really hard for him to say no to that, especially given what we just talked about with the money and the publicity it gets on top of the just pure ego side of it. I feel like it's a lot harder to deny that. I mean, logically, morally, he probably should have. I agree with you. But I think all those things factored in, he was almost forced to, or both of them were kind of forced to.
I think you hit on something, because I also feel a part of his tension was forced. I wouldn't say from his publicist standpoint. I would say more from his entourage. I think that, and that's why we talk about your circle and, your friend, the people you keep around you and the things you do. We definitely try to keep positivity throughout the show to give you things to think about. And I think that for him, that plays a big part of that. I think kind of on the outside looking in, a random person would say that a lot of the people that may run with him or that back him are young people. And I don't think that he's the way that he truly, even with some money, you and Keisha can be out there like living it up now. Like y'all can be looking like, yes, God, but there's still a level of y'all are grown people. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all out here, you got family, you know what I'm saying? Y'all married, like you doing the grown thing, right? And I think that he's there, but he ain't there to the point that he still wants to appease to those around him to keep up who he is to those around him and not to the people that he now has in his life and the things that he's truly doing in his life moving forward. Like you did a whole reality show, bro. Like you living room TV. You know what I'm saying? Like you in people's house like living room TV. So there's a level of you that you can't be at this point. You have upgraded a certain level of stardom that, certain people reach where there's things that you can and can't do. You know what I mean? And you got there. Even knowing who you are, where you come from, the stuff that you've been through in life, the people, you know who I'm talking about, still put you on TV to be in a position to be in those people's homes. And that's a big statement. So for me now, kind of looking at you, it's just kind of weird. Like it's like you reverting, like you going backwards. You are already in opportunities where you are allowed to show this new you. We want the old you music. We cool looking at the new you. That's all I'm saying. Hey, I digress, okay? That was just my 2 cents on that. I love both of them. I'm not gonna say that I don't love them or I did not enjoy that because that'd be a lie. You know what I'm saying? But So, our over-under. What's going on with you in life?
So, the over-under with your boy. I hate the phrase your boy, but I'm just going to go with it. I feel like we can't all be your boy.
I like how you do this. How you last time was all the AK.
It's something else. Anyway, it's Storm, a.k.a. Storm Targaryen. But the over-under today. So, first, we're going to start with the over because I got a lot to say about this one. Well, the topic is social media apps specifically. Like any social media that has an app we'll go with. But as a young person in my prime, I'm 23, Jordan year, you know what it is.
Okay.
Snapchat is so overrated it hurts me. It physically brings me pain. Like
oh my God, my brother's the only person who's ever said that.
Like it's just okay, first of all, Snapchat has its own like culture within it. I don't know how much you use Snapchat or
it got real tedious and annoying, so it's very sparse at this point.
That's what I'm saying. So like when you're on Snapchat, there's a couple different Snapchat people you'll have. So you have people on your Snapchat that you want to talk to. Yeah. It's maybe 3 or 4 people, let's be real. And then you have everybody else who, when you look at their stories, it's one of 3 things. It's a pet, it's a little kid, or it's a concert. And it's like, why do we need this? We don't need to see this.
I only snap at concerts.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, do we need 6 minutes of like the worst photos and videos I've ever seen?
Oh my God.
It's so ridiculous. And then the people that you don't want to talk to, there's all these streaks. Everyone knows about streaks. You send each other photos, all that, which sounds cool in theory. It's like, oh yeah, me and my friend, we've been talking every day for 2 years. It's like, oh, that's cool. But that's not what it is. You know what it really is? It's people sending pictures of nothing, writing streak on it, and then just sending. And that's it.
What?
That's what streaks are. It's the dumbest thing. And if you go on any sort of public transport, yeah, streaks are a big thing on Snapchat. But when I was in college a couple months ago, I would get on the bus to go to classes. So we had 2 campuses. And if you are in the back of the bus, you're screwed. Because people are just taking selfies all the time for streaks, and you always have to sit there looking stupid in someone's selfie because you don't want to be in it, but they took theirs anyway, so it's just oh
my God, because you don't want to be caught doing something weird or anything else, so you just that's funny.
It's so whack. It's so whack. So That's not even bringing up the trouble you can get in on Snapchat by being in other people's stories when you said you weren't going to be there and all that stuff. It's just, it's not it. It's not it. So Snapchat,
I agree.
Overrated.
I agree.
It's not it. But, you know what is it? Contrary to popular belief, is Twitter. Twitter is our underrated for the day.
Really?
And hear me out. Because obviously Twitter
I hate Twitter too because it's not enough words I can use.
Mm-hmm. It gets a bad rap for the word count. It gets a bad rap for the president, which, we'll get. Yeah. We don't need to talk about that, but we all know.
I follow him for his rants.
Twitter is, honestly, if we're being real, Twitter has become one of the biggest news outlets out there. Do you know how many people use Twitter just to see what's going on?
I did use Twitter for traffic updates once.
Yeah, it's for traffic updates. It's for news stories. It's for election updates. It's for sports updates. It's literally anything will be on Twitter. And then on top of that, it's just funny. Like, people on Twitter are funny. Like, I mean, not everybody. But,
so how do you find people to follow? Like, because, like, okay, like, say your Twitter is funny, but that's based on the people that you follow.
Yeah, I mean, like,
how do I find funny people to follow? Because I think that's the thing that I don't like about both of those apps. Mm-hmm. The access of finding new people. What if I don't want my Facebook friends on my Snapchat?
That's exactly it. You got to figure out who you want on each platform. Like, I feel like Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram are for people that you know, whereas Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, whatever is for people you don't know or like entertainment purposes. You know what I mean?
So how do you get those people though? Like, I think that's like, how do you get followers on a platform that you don't want people you know?
It's tricky at first because you need one or two of your friends to like send you funny tweets, and then what you can do is when you get a funny tweet sent to you, you're like, oh, I like this. You follow the person who made that tweet, and then they'll retweet other people who retweet funny stuff, and then you just keep going and keep following more people. And that's how you get your feed to be hilarious all the time.
Very tedious.
Yeah, it takes it's a little bit of setup, but I'm telling you,
Facebook was mad easy.
But Facebook has the problem of, since you know these people, they're going on rants that you log in and people are arguing why Nazis are good, and you're like, what? Are we in 1890? Like, what happened?
I will admit, like, it's maybe three different occasions in my life where Facebook has presented me new avenues of types of people, and it made me enjoy Facebook that much more. But the other apps aren't. I don't feel like they are as user friendly. Like, you can release your mind on Facebook, whether it's really small, really long, photos, videos, everything can be tailored more to user friendly or article worthy on Facebook. And the other apps, I just don't feel, even for them to be social media based, like even Instagram, you're still down to characters and everything is still dumbed down to only photos and videos, which makes the word, and captioning and, putting all that, for things to make sense, to me makes it harder.
Mm-hmm. And I think they definitely have a long way to go with that. The social media apps, it's not the best as far as just if you want to get an idea out there, it's much harder as opposed to a video or a photo. But for what they do and what lane they're in now, I think they're doing it really well.
I must just really be behind. I try, like, every so often. I try to get on Twitter and, like, I'm gonna do this, and I just get stuck. And it's like, it's like I see those posts sometimes where people are like, oh, well, what's your Twitter handle or what's your IG, and I put my stuff out there, so ooh, yay, new followers, but I don't get the same kind of content that I want from other apps. I don't.
I mean,
I use them for business.
To each their own, but I'm just saying.
Teach me, man.
I'll teach you.
I gotta start striking, I guess. Like,
I got
make sure I don't streak, while striking.
But that's all I got. Snapchat overrated, Twitter underrated.
That is dope. That is something to think about, though. That's crazy because I would have flopped them for me. That would have definitely been a flop for me. Twitter would have been completely overrated for me. So, here we go. Affirmations. All right, we're going to keep it rocking for you guys, all right? I want you guys to make sure that you are really, really honest with yourself. Every time we do affirmations, it's all about honesty, holding yourself accountable, making sure that you are speaking more things that can feed you life, okay, and not take away from your life. So, one thing I realized this week is that I love everything anyone hates about me. And you should too. Because that's you. Think about it. When it comes to tearing a person down, who's the one person that could truly do that and do it the best? You. Who is the one person that knows your real grave secrets? I'm not talking about grave secrets that you happen to tell your best friend, right? I mean the real grave secrets, like stuff that you would literally never tell a soul. Like you try to forget so you ain't got to tell yourself so you don't remember. You don't even want to be the soul to remember, okay? It's you. And when there's people out here that don't know nothing about you, let alone those real extremely personal things about you, nothing they say should hold any weight. It shouldn't, okay? I want y'all to start truly loving any and everything that somebody else hates about you, because it's you, baby. It's all you. There is nothing else and no one else like it. It is you, okay? Dude, I don't care if they hate your eyes. I don't care if they hate your nose. I don't care if they hate your toes. They yours, okay? So you love them. If they need a little work, if you need your feet done, that's cool. You ain't gotta just hate them, no, you know? Just get them done. You know, do them yourself. Figure it out. If you don't like your eyes, I don't know why. Maybe you just need to arch your eyebrows. Grab some mascara or something. I don't know. But there's no reason why you should hate yourself. You know, I want people to get more in tune with loving thyself. Because can't nobody take away nothing if they don't know nothing. Okay? So, but I'm going to be funky with y'all. Dear black people, I want y'all to stop using social media to come for people. We got to retire that. You know how they say leave stuff, you know, in whatever year and don't bring it into the next one? I think that's a great one to leave behind. Like, we got to stop using social media to come for people. For real. I mean, it's gotten to the point where when y'all want to tear down a person, you will go through all of their photos and then settle on the photo from 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. That's not even the same person right now. So you picking at the person they was instead of who they are, which, you know, all that energy that you waste and all that time that you spent, you could be focusing on yourself. So in this whole new digital era where everything is fair game apparently, and you can use anything, that's cool and all, but the reality is joke's on you. Because if you happen to come for me and you went looking through all my stuff and it's like 10, 20, 30 years ago for that matter, okay, that's not even the glow that is right now, boo, at all, okay? So that's what I want y'all to practice this week. For real, deal Holyfield. I want y'all to love yourself more, love any and everything that somebody else hate about you, and stop using social media to come for folks. Because for real, that still applies. Whatever their ugliest, dirtiest, nitty-grittiest photo or video they could possibly have, they didn't post it. You got the best of all that stuff, not the worst. So you actually using nothing. All right, y'all? Stick around. You're tuned into IssaVibe right here on Atlanta's Next 100. It's time to really get into this sample of flavor. Stick around.
Shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track? You spark up the blunts, I'm representing like expected. Slow down. Hey baby, your hips is getting big. Now you're getting thin, you don't care about your wig. Now Willie got a pair of my sneakers. Wonder where he got him, cause I hit him behind my speakers. The object of your affection is the T-top connection. What makes it clear you love to smoke the wolves. The crackheads and crackmen, they come up to my door. I don't smoke jump, so what they knocking for? Kids love to feel on your feds, got a seal on your street time is limited to days. On your crack card, they're getting only agencies for comeback. Damn it's a shame you're the mighty queen of vows with a wide-eyed look and a rotten tooth smile. Used to walk with a swagger, now you simply stagger from one spot on to the next spot, on to the next spot, on to the next. Bitch, get a job. For me, you won't rob, cause I smack you with a hose filled with sand. Now give that to the crack man. You was fly once, now you're losing all your fronts. Started off light, only took a woolly blunt. But now you get a stripe, graduated to the pipe. Took a long pull, hype, yeah. Head crack, you smoked up that stack in a minute you was back. Hey, yo, ex, wasn't that your girl? Yeah, I had to drop her cause she caught on the plastic and I just couldn't stop her.
Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down.
I knew this girl named Tropicana. She's always juicing, producing cash from a sexual task. She loves men that trick like Halloween and treat. You ain't paid, then your grade is incomplete. You gotta flash dollars to prove her. And when you do, she sucks it up like a Hoover. Taking all your papes like inhalation of vape. Her nasal passage is filled with money, and it's massive. Well, what you are is a stunt man. You're on a hunt, and your plan is to take all you can from a man and scram. I've seen your kind before, you're not original. Just a sick, mixed up individual. Giving up the crotch for a fresh gold watch. Marking off the good you get, going up another notch. Your ways and actions are like those of a savage. If the price is right, then anyone can rap it. Even Monty Hall can have himself a ball if his assets are in order. What's really scary is you're somebody's daughter. So don't come around trying to make a profit at the expense of another man. Stop it. Cause you see, you're the freak show of the town. And what I think you ought to do is when you're in the casket. Sister, there's no need in speeding. She was doing ways before she started bleeding. What makes a bitch wanna act in this fashion? Pulled more stunts than my man Action Jackson. A real gold winner, just like Bruce Jenner. Laid a bitch on the bed and then you run right in her. Cuba makes no mistakes. She said, rock me tonight
For old time's sake.
Picture that. You little hooker. Honey got a problem with the bins. Meaning she likes to bend over and then she spreads the skin. The hoe was just a hoe and that's without the controversy. She can make a bed spring, sing the song of mercy. Come on, Toots, you can take 1,000 just scrub that ass and I still pass.
Slow down.
You living fast.
Slow down.
Now see, it ain't no reason for you to be out here skeezing, cause it's not the season. So if you wanna live foul and be a dumb bitch, well go ahead. You living fast. Now I'd like to give a special shout to my DJ Alamo wanna help out. No, not like that.
What's poppin', family? It's your homegirl, Taryn Simone.
Latoria G.
And Miss Caprice.
We're here to tell you about our hot new show, Next Now, Weekend Edition.
With segments like Giving You the Business and Whoop Child. Tune in every Saturday and Sundays, 10 to 12 on Atlanta's Next 100.
Right here on IBNX Radio Network.
Our community, our station.
ATL's Next 100.
Jumping in
Next
like that.
100.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, she didn't. Oh, no, this heifer didn't.
I said what I said.
I'm petty, 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 I'm petty.
Bam. So it is that time. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to be ever so sweet and genuine. Okay. That's what we are going to do. We're going to be very, very genuine when we tell you guys this. This is our potentially pete, by the way. Okay. So it's time to decide. Now is the time. Thanksgiving is next week. Stop bullshitting. Figure it out. Okay? What are y'all going to do? Are you going to have Thanksgiving with your immediate family? Are you going to say, FDB, we out in these streets and go see your family wherever they at? Or are you going to say, you know what, forget everybody and I am definitely not having anybody. I'm just going to have all of this alone. Like, no, my mama can't come through. My aunt can't come through. My brother can't come through. Nobody leave me alone. It's just me and mine. That's what we're going to dig into, because it's crazy for us to have gone through this long and still technically in a pandemic. The whole cancel quarantine never actually happened. Y'all know that, right? Like, we went from everybody and, was being shut down, or people were slowly, I guess, shutting down, to everybody but Georgia being shut down, and then everybody, let's join Georgia. I think that's how quarantine looked to me, okay? So, but it's a holiday time. I think January is cold. Once we get through New Year, ain't nobody care. And we wasn't even worried about Corona then, right? February, it's Valentine's Day. People was breaking up with people anyway from cuffing season because they didn't want to buy no present, right? So it didn't matter. Boom, March hit. It's time to get ignorant. It's finna get hot. We want to go outside. It's pretty outside. We want to go to the beach. It's spring breaking it time. All of that. That's when quarantine really hit us, okay? So nothing else truly mattered. When we got to, I think by the time people really got cabin fever, we were looking at, what's that? Memorial Day, which people kind of did on a small scale. Then we canceled July 4th to celebrate Juneteenth. And I think people still did that they tried to do that on still of a small scale. I'm cool with that. So yeah, we still slightly skipped July 4th. Okay, fine. August, nothing. September, boom, Labor Day. I think Labor Day is when it truly hit everybody that, you know what? I think that's when it hit for me that Atlanta was truly over. Like, we had totally threw out the window. Quarantine, we totally threw out the window. We about to sit down and chill and kind of see what's, happening in the rest of the world. No, it's hot. They said the heat kills corona. We out in these streets. That's what Atlanta did. I think that's exactly how Georgia took that. So with that being said, you keep going after Labor Day. You got what? Halloween, I think the same thing happened. During Halloween, a little bit before Halloween, I was starting to see more videos of people going out and having drinks. It was just ooh, every day we went to the bar. That's when I saw that. Okay, boom. You keep going. Now we are here. Now we're here. Now it's Thanksgiving. This is possibly the longest a lot of people have gone without seeing their family. which on a normal year would be normal. Most people don't go and actually see their family or try to make that, thing happen until around the holidays. Okay. The summer stuff is for your friends and family, your immediate family, birthdays and stuff like that, graduations, a lot of that is for your immediate family, right? The only time that you get to see everybody, and you can really enjoy family is during Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I think since most of the world is hard-headed is where it gets kind of tricky, because everybody quarantined, that's fine, but now you can't go see family. Okay, it's a lot of people okay, I'll say this. To me, the worst part is the fact that there's probably a good portion of the country that still were really in quarantine and haven't seen anyone, especially family. So this already being the one time, that they can go see family, and then you're telling them, no, you really can't. That I think it's starting to take a toll, especially when you look at other places in the world that have been open. At this point, we're seeing other countries start to look at shutting down again. We're looking at schools, wondering what to happen after Thanksgiving. So that's why I do pose that question. How are you all planning to spend your Thanksgiving this year? It's deeper than, who you inviting? You know what I mean? I think it's truly deeper than that, because they're asking everybody to stay home. They have already gone through that. They're asking everybody to just stay home. You have Thanksgiving with the people that are already in your household. If anything, that gives everybody one good week to quarantine, which is some form of a combative, notion, if you will, in terms of the virus. Because on the other side of that coin is the 95% success rate for this vaccine that they're talking about. So with that being said, what are y'all going to do? How much do you love your family, and how much do you love the holidays? For me, I got my kid. I'm happy as hell, I think, as long as I can quarantine with her, I don't care, but I could only imagine, let's say, okay, she's my age and, I'm now way older than her, and dang, I want to see my kid. You know what I mean? I think that's what's getting people. That's what's getting people.
And I mean, obviously, if you were in a situation like that, it would suck, right? Like, it would suck not to be able to see your kid. Or if you're a grandma and you've been alone all
so you haven't seen
year.
The grandkids yet.
Like, obviously that would suck, but for me personally, the idea that sucks more is 250,000 people that have died from this. So it's like, I get it, it's not fun, but if everyone does their part and just quarantines for a little bit, we'll be done with it. Obviously other countries have done that, and we're the laughing stock of the world now, because we just can't seem to grasp that concept. So I mean, obviously, I get it. It stinks. It's going to suck for the holidays. It's going to suck for a long time. And it has sucked since March. Yes. But, you just got to do your part and do what you can.
So, okay, let's put that in perspective, okay? Because you kind of hit something there that I think a lot of people don't think about, is the fact that other countries have, even on a small scale, if you will, alleviated the virus in their country with no vaccine. Meanwhile, the states have not done anything to truly try to alleviate it, but have forcibly pushed the use of a vaccine. They spent more time trying to make sure that we can come up with a vaccine, opposed to making sure that we do what we can to help alleviate what's already here, the more immediate thing. So I'm with you. I definitely think that, let's say, the long-term Thanksgiving should be X'd out, okay? The long haul, if you will. Okay, so fine, we don't want y'all skipping states. Say you and all of your family live in the same state.
I mean, I think it still applies, because to me, or the point I'm trying to get across is, it's not about distance, it's just about quarantining in general. You know what I mean? It's about stopping the spread.
But people have also come up with, let's say, the magic number of how many people are okay to be in a home. I mean, and not even not just to, be a bitch about it. What about families that, like Joe Jackson? See how many kids he had?
I mean, I
they're not inviting others to their house, fine, but there's still a significant amount of people already in that household, you know? So I think, like, is it fair to say that household of about 10 people warrants another household that may not have 10 people living there, but could hold up to the 10 max for the sake of safety? Because that's what they got to do, because they got 10 people in their house. So why can't I have 10 people in my house?
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's too based on the number of people. It's just a matter of being safe. So, like, let's say, you know, you and your daughter want to have like 3 people over. As long as those people got tested and then the results came back negative, you're good to go.
So there we are.
You know?
So okay, so that's the other thing that I kind of wanted to touch on in terms of how we're going to spend our holidays, because would you require everyone that say you want your whole family, okay? But your stipulation, rather, in order for them to come to your family dinner would be that they have to get tested. Is that something that you think is an okay antic to have?
Yes, easily. Yes, 100%.
So is that because tests come back faster now, or just because you trust the tests?
They come back faster, and it's just clarity. Because like my family's going through that right now, where we have the whole family at the house, but my sister wants to come for Thanksgiving, and we would love to have her, but it's harder to say, oh yeah, just go get a test and do it, because even if she gets the test and it's negative, she still has to fly over here. Mm-hmm. Who knows who she contacts on the way here? So it's tricky. That's why the in-state thing does matter, because if you're just driving, you can not talk to anyone, not touch anything, and you'll be fine. But if you're doing
gas up on Monday, don't go anywhere Tuesday, leave Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah,
you can be there Thursday.
And it works, but it's like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not too worried about it because I'm a healthy 23-year-old. I knew if I were to get it, most likely I'm fine. But I can't say that for my dad. I can't say that for my grandma. You know, so I'm trying to be safe for them as opposed to for me. And I feel like if people just did that.
Have you thought about, say, the long-term effects? Not so much the immediate effect of your young, healthy body, but the long-term effects of, say, you have antibodies or you did contract or whatever. And yeah, you're okay to combat it now, or it doesn't affect you, you know, too much right now, but it's still in your system, and say that now you're 35.
Mm-hmm. I definitely don't put too much thought into that because, you know, I'm a young 23-year-old. I make horrible decisions all the time. I have a hard time thinking about what I'm going to eat for lunch tomorrow, like, let alone that.
Oh, God, what a time to be alive.
So, you know. I can't
God,
say
I
do,
that.
But it is somewhat on the mind. You know, like I'm not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, I'll just get COVID, get it over with, and I'm good. Like, I'm not in that at all. But like, you know, I am living pretty well right now.
You're like, you're in the middle of the teeter-totter. You're not jacked up, but you ain't. I'm all okay.
Yeah, I'm not tripping, but I'm not tripping. You know.
I love that. Okay, so I think that is something that people should still think about. Okay, so, boom. Say you're in state. Everybody that you want to invite is in state. And a test takes, 2-3 days? So you just make everybody that you invite or that did RSVP, make sure they get tested by Monday so that... you still have that travel time. Because, like, okay, it takes 2-3 days for the test to come back. Are they supposed to stay at home for 2-3 days? Because, you know, that's the only alternative. Like, okay, the day I took the test, I was straight. But, you know, as soon as I walked out the office, I sat next to Rhonda and then oops. You know, I just think that there's a lot more that people should put into perspective, you know. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation, because it is the holidays. And I think because people already experience cabin fever, it's going to get tricky this time of year to figure out the best way that you're going to do something, or really saying, you know, I'm gonna just stay at home alone. So, you know, it's okay. We're gonna come back. I'm gonna give you guys some things to do with this hey, everybody got tested Thanksgiving. Stick around. You're watching and listening to IssaVibe on Atlanta's Next 100.
up, everybody? It's your girl, Jada. Make sure you tune in and check out our new show, Next Now, weekdays 12 to 2 on ATL's Next 100.
Powered by IBNXRadioNetwork.com.
The station I listen to 24/7.
ATL's Next 100. Next 100.
Don't get it twisted.
Best time of my life. Yes, so let's get back into this, okay? So if you are just coming back, we're definitely digging into COVID versus Thanksgiving, okay? Now, Storm definitely gave a very interesting way to go about it, you know, for people who are at least in state. We have totally X'd out going out of state. We're not going out of state. We don't want y'all to do that. We'd rather you stay home or at least stay within your state. So fine. We're going to keep digging deeper here. So, okay, boom. You in state. You want to have everything at Big Mama house. Cool, that's nice. But get everybody tested. I don't think that's a bad thing. Me, myself, I am still actually not comfortable getting tested. So I guess for me, we would have to go down another tier. So, okay. Now we're to immediate family. Where, say, me, my kids, maybe my parents and spouse. So is that also something that people should view as okay? Now for me, I'm in my 30s. So, you know, mom's in her 50s, right? That's less risk of a 70-year-old, but definitely more risk than your young 23, right? Do you feel like that is still the same amount of significant risk?
I mean, I would say so, because I mean, I don't know all the info, all the science behind it, all that stuff, but it generally seems like once you're over 50 plus, COVID becomes way more risky than it would be for anyone below that. You know what I mean? I have no numbers to back that up, but that's just from what I've seen. That tends to be the situation.
Let's say we go with that.
Okay.
That is extremely depressing. That puts every elder alone, which are the people that we check on. Now, like, say for me personally, those are the people that I check on, you know, my mom and my grandma, you know, so that's really hard to fathom, you know, and it's crazy because, like, when you think about this pandemic and things like that, we should have been trying to check on people, you know what I mean? Making sure they have food, making sure that, you know, they make doctor's appointments and things of that nature. So thinking about something so much as just a family dinner when, say, you have already somewhat been around, you know, family, you know what I mean? Like, and then I think that's why I posed it in a manner of immediate family, because during this quarantine, I'm almost certain that a lot of people were able to still keep in communication, well, in contact rather, with immediate family. I don't think that was as far-fetched. So if you have already been in contact with this immediate family, are we still getting tested? Or hey, we've already been kind of toggling throughout this 2020. Let's just still have our family dinner. Or is that still going to be unsafe? Because, I mean, you still got the same, say it's 4 of y'all, right? It's me and my daughter, you know, that's one household. You got a mom and her husband, right? And then say I had a sibling, and then, okay, he's maybe got a girlfriend or something, right? That's still already 3 different households. Well, 4, because the girlfriend, right? That's 4 different households rather, of people that technically we're still engaging. Because, like, say, like, has your parents at all met your girlfriend?
Yeah. But I mean, they made it clear, hey, she needs to get tested before she comes over, and then she got tested, negative, met everybody, it was good. Okay, so your household that was very adamant on if there's somebody about to come over here, FedEx can't even come past the mailbox, you know. So okay, cool. I mean, I'm with it. I'm just playing devil's advocate, you know, because not everybody. This is actually the first time I've heard of someone being okay and adamant on the testing in their household. Now, how often do you get tested? No, you don't get tested, but you be up here at the station like you with me. Mm-hmm. So how does it Well, again, for me personally, I treat it differently than my family does because they get tested a good amount. Again, like I said, since I know my girlfriend's getting tested all the time and I'm with her 24/7, if she were to get it, I would get it. So as long as she's good, I'm good. In my own head, I know that's not the best way to do it. The safer way to do it is just to get tested. I know that, but
my God.
In my own head, I'm like, I'm fine. But if my family was like, we need you to get tested, I would do it.
Okay.
You know, I'm not against it. I'm just lazy.
Oh my God. I love you. That's amazing. Okay. So, but still, in my perspective of, let's say, the 4 different households that do not get tested, granted, that is still the risk, right? The initial, that everybody has. But do you still feel like that could possibly be I'm trying to get down to the lowest form of risk without the test, because in hindsight, if you make everybody, local or not, take a test, they can come from wherever, so I'm trying to find the safest way without the test. So would that 4 different household worth of people be somewhat warranted? I mean, granted, nobody posed any symptoms, which to me is a whole nother hat trick. But okay, nobody posed any symptoms. Say 2 of them are mostly at home. The other 2 are probably, regular essential workers or something. One higher risk than the other. It's very different dynamics here. But, everybody seems fine. And we're already at less than 10 people.
And I mean, I think if you're saying without testing, the safest way to do it, it's just asking what they've been doing. Like if my best friend, right? He has barely seen anybody. It's literally just been him and his girlfriend since March. So if I wanted to hang out with him, I'd feel pretty confident. I wouldn't need him to ask the test because I know he works from home. He doesn't see anybody. He's been quarantining. It's all good. But if in this scenario, let's say the girlfriend, her job still requires her to go into work all the time and she's constantly interacting close quarters people and things like that, I wouldn't feel safe doing it. I'm sure some people would because they might have the mindset of, hey, if she had it, the boyfriend would have it, and then there you go. But
okay, I agree to an extent. I actually kind of enjoy your take from that because the reality is you're actually giving me great feedback here. These are things that I don't think anybody has thought about. I got as far as so I lied. I did think about testing everybody, but I knew that probably wouldn't be the easiest thing, so that's why I X'd it. But here you kind of touch on the fact of the discussion, actually everybody truly asking and knowing where people have been, whether it's the grocery store you go to, anything like, so you're like the COVID tracker people. That would be the better alternative. Now that's something that I have also been more timid about because I don't like everybody in my business. So, and I'm very liberal in that term of, in terms of the government being in my business. So I, along with being iffy about the test and being iffy about this vaccine, I am also iffy about the trackers because say I do go to this Kroger, which, I mean, come on, look at how many people could possibly go into a Kroger. And that's not just the people that live in that area. What if you were an Uber Eat person and you had to bring something from way over yonder over here, but now you hungry or thirsty and you need to go in Kroger, and now you go into this Kroger, which isn't your neighborhood Kroger. I think that the tracking is one of the hardest things that they are trying to do. I kind of understand it, but I don't think that it makes enough sense because it's almost impossible to do. You know what I mean? Which I guess kind of makes me look at your viewing of that as a form of contradictory, because asking them where they've been, the only real person in either scenario we may have posed would be the one person that works from home. And even still, because remember when quarantine first happened, you got people spraying down their boxes coming from Amazon. So, or the fact that Amazon then had 19,000 employees that, as a company, not at one facility, but as a company that had COVID, So it's like things like that, So, okay, we do this tracker, but we still don't know about everybody who's been in all those places that you have been to. You know, the biggest, I mean, granted, you know, we're playing devil's advocate here. I'm not telling everybody to stay home, though I'm telling everyone to stay home, you know, but I just want y'all to think, you know, I want to give you guys options at least, you know, to kind of go about it. So, you know, because some people, like you said, it's that 30 million people that feel like COVID ain't real, you know, and then you have the rest of us who are looking at it as real. And whether I think even out of the rest of us, it's still a level of how not how real, but how bad, you know what I mean? Because we've survived a year, you know. I don't think a lot of people are looking at the amount of deaths as much as they're looking at the amount of time they've spent going through it and the amount of time that they have survived COVID. I think that's, you know, because basic human instincts here is survival, you know. So if you're beating something, you're looking at the glass half full. You're looking at the optimism about it, not the half empty people that we've actually lost. You know, you're trying to survive, so you're trying to stay ahead of what you feel the number game is, not so much as what you need to do, but the fact that, well, I made it this long, you know. And I think that since we have that mentality, which is a human instinct, it's making it harder for us to figure out our balance behind all of this and what we are okay with, what we should be doing, you know, and should be suggesting, opposed to what we have to do. Because I mean, shit, half of us have to go to work regardless of COVID or no COVID. It's people out here that have to go to work. You know, you have to go into general population. You have, I mean, even doing this grocery thing, you know, some people can't use or don't have the means to use the delivery services to get food. So, hey, that's what you got.
And I think you nailed it right there. Like, I think it just ultimately comes down to how you view it. You know, it's a weird comparison, but stay with me here. I think mentalities for COVID are very similar to mentalities with police brutality that was happening a few months ago. Because I went to a college in Minnesota, and I played in a Minnesota Division III football team. So I had a lot of white teammates, a lot of white conservative teammates. Okay. And
makes sense.
Talking to them, they felt like, you know, hey, this police stuff, it's not that big of a deal. You know, it very rarely happens. There's more good cops than bad cops, etc. Until someone on our team gets beaten up by a cop. And then they're like, well, okay, maybe this is bigger than I thought it was. Maybe this is more real than I thought it was.
Because it's happening closer to you.
Exactly. So I think it's easy for people to lose sight of COVID and be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. My family's fine. It's all good, until your grandma passes away. And then you're like, okay, maybe I should take this more seriously, you know? So it just depends on how you want to view it.
I think that is the best harsh reality that we can come to. I think that in terms of the holidays, that is something that people should think about. You know, it's the bigger question. The bigger statement should be, I don't want it to happen to me, opposed to it didn't happen to me, or it can't happen to me. You know, the yet, you know, and all that, or even knowing somebody else that it's happened to. You know, you need to just know that I don't want that to happen to me, and then work from the preventative, opposed to this fight or flight. You know, because I think that's really where we're stuck. I think that's how everybody's rationalizing and reasoning COVID right now. It's November, you know, and when we got more information about COVID, we realized we've had COVID, you know, as far as being a thing since last November. So October actually. So the fact that now we've made it a year, a lot of people are looking at the blessing of I survived as that's what it is, opposed to we're jumping into the beginning of what was our beginning, and we haven't attacked it. So yeah, I definitely think that from here at IssaVibe, me and Storm, we think y'all should just stay home. Or, you know, if it's got to be like that, everybody get tested. You know, if it's not already the immediate people in your household that you already deal with, you know, like say it's 3-4 people in my household, and one person stays in one place all the time, one person goes to one place all the time, and then the other two are the toggle, you know, but that's how they live. So I understand where there's blended families and you have no choice. I get that, you know, we can definitely understand that, but it's the reckless for me. It's the, oh, well, I miss my family in California, I'm just gonna go. It's the, oh, I think my grandma's about to make my favorite cake and Kentucky seems nice. You know, like, I feel like if we were going to do some traveling to go and love some family or check on loved ones, I think it should have been done before now, where it's rush holiday season, where everybody is trying to move, you know. Pick that random day in August where ain't nobody doing nothing. You know, I think that would have been the safest way if you just had to check on family to, you know, give love and not, you know, feel alone. But right now is not the time. Right now is not the time. So, with that being said, what I do think is okay, because, hey, Atlanta been open, right? And since Atlanta been open, and you know we ain't finna actually do no real quarantine right here because, hey, it's Atlanta. I think that one of the cooler things that people should do, especially for, say, people in our young 23 and don't be listening or wondering, what about my life, people, right? Y'all should have a Friendsgiving. I think that should be something that's okay. I think that keeps that generation crowd within themselves. You know, they're already hanging out or being around each other anyway, so you can keep that. Opposed to, hey, I live vicariously by life and I'll wait till I have some coughs or something, or my balls drop when I cough. You know, I'll wait for stuff like that to happen before I really think about, you know, maybe not going to see my parents. I think that is the better option, guys. Seriously, just hang out with like minds. Y'all already been hanging with like minds, you know, even though street racer people and stuff like that, just hang out with each other, you know. You already been doing that. That's probably the better bet for you guys. But it's also something new and innovative that you can do. You can also learn more about each other, learn who can cook, who can't cook, figure out which girl is actually best for the party. And I mean, long-lasting friendships and relationships can happen during this time. I think that's the best bet, opposed to you going and taking all of your been out in these streets life to your grandma. Okay? So hopefully you guys can just think about that. I don't want nobody to lose nobody, especially during the holiday season. That is definitely, we don't want none of that, okay? So this whole pandemic, we have been quarantined. I'm sorry, guys, but we still need to be quarantined. Hey, if you can do it with your immediate family, I'm all for it, okay? I'm all for it. Storm says quarantine the whole family, okay? Or at least test the whole family. So, hey, if you know like I know, that's probably the better bet, all right? But it's cool. That was our Potentially Petty for this week, you guys. We gotta go ahead and go to a commercial break, and then we come back, we're gonna hit this off the record. So stick around. It's the vibe right here in Atlanta's Next 100.
What's poppin', family? It's your homegirl, Terrence Simone.
Latoria G.
And Miss Caprice.
We're here to tell you about our hot new show, Next Now, Weekend Edition.
With segments like Giving You the Business and Whoop Child.
Tune in every Saturday and Sundays, 10 to 12 on Atlanta's Next 100. Right here on IBNX Radio Network.
Our community, our station.
Powered by IBNXRadioNetwork.com.
Station I listen to 24/7.
ATL's Next 100. Next 100.
Don't get it twisted.
All right. So let's hit this off the record before we get this minute ended. All right. So y'all know I love my little Buy Black all the time. It's actually turned into Big Buy Black because I buy black everywhere and I enjoy it. So it's November. Black Friday is coming up. I'm going to make it my duty to, I would like to do like a good 25 to 50 shout. That's my goal. I want to do a 25 to 50 shout of places and people that you all can utilize during the week of Black Friday, where you are still actually buying black. Just want to showcase these people, okay? So, you know, of course, here on the show, we've had our DAs. We have had our Lock Essentials, okay? We have had our Excuse My Crown. We have seen Broken English, Bougie Girl's Closet. Look, it's really a lot of good talent out there, okay, you guys? My Blue Diamond is now also getting ready to this December launch her own pole fitness classes. I am dumb hype about that. I am trying to get back into pole, and December is for me. So I'm very excited. Congratulations to you, my blue. And like I said, I'm going to bring you guys a whole lot of more people that I think you guys can actually utilize. Because y'all been shopping already. And we already saw that, $3 billion that Amazon tried to collect. Oh, I mean, come on. That was Prime Day. So I already know that y'all about to go in this next week, okay? So I'm going to make sure I do my part and at least give you guys some good, authentic places to shop with, okay? Now, off the record, this weekend, it's my baby's birthday. OMG. I kept alive a baby for 3 whole years. Oh, God, that is amazing. It's one of the hardest jobs that I have ever taken on out of all the things that I've ever done in my life. But I am definitely a very proud mom of a very vibrant, intelligent, fun, and just crazy little baby, okay? Who's now not a baby, she's a toddler. So, yeah, I got a 3-year-old, okay? So that's what I'll be doing this weekend, throwing her a birthday party. And I normally try to keep, Sundays for her. So I think I'm going to swap it out and try to have a Sunday to myself. I'm lying. I'm definitely going to still give her a Sunday to herself. I'll keep Monday for myself. I'll give myself Monday. But that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm really hyped. I got a bouncy house, a little cotton candy machine, which, I mean, come on, cotton candy. I'm really excited. I have made her a cake every year for her birthday. Every year. I'm just an extra mom like that. But this year, though, my cake still looks ugly, but that joker tastes so good. Oh, my God. I have not mastered my piping yet or my frosting skills, but I don't quit. I never give up, okay? So it'll be doctored in some way tomorrow, but I made her a tower cake that is delicious, and I cannot wait to see her expression when she just stuffs her face in it. So that'll be my weekend. What about you, Storm?
Nothing crazy. I'm just spending the day tomorrow with the family, chilling, not doing anything wild, and then Sunday hanging out with my girl. I don't think we have anything wild planned this time. We're just hanging out. We've been watching Game of Thrones, so rewatching it.
I was about to say, so this is your first time? Because I've never watched an episode yet.
We gonna have to fight. I'm just saying, we're about to throw some hands. But no, I've seen it all. She saw about half of it, but she doesn't really remember it much. So I'll ask her, like, oh, do you know what's up with this character? And she's like, no. And I'm like, what? This is like a main character. So
I feel like I like her. I just know
that. She's great, but it's really fun. So we're just gonna be chilling this weekend. Nothing crazy.
Okay? So I admit I am slick looking for, I guess, new binge-worthy things, because all of my nostalgia black shows, I finished them. That's one. I've now watched a few like hood movies recently, so but they're rewatches. I really want to kind of give something new a try. Now, granted, like This Is Us came back, so yay, but like I can't binge it. But I don't know about Game of Thrones. I always felt like maybe it was too much for me, but I like things kind of like that. So what if you knew somebody that, like me, have never seen an episode, how would you get them to at least try an episode?
The thing is, I don't think you would like it very much. Based on everything I know about you, it just doesn't seem like your style. But if I was trying to convince you to watch it, one easily is the greatest TV show ever. Like let alone
really?
of the decade, of the past 2 decades of the modern era, it is the best TV show ever. The ending, rough. We all know the ending is not what you want, but it's
well written for it to be a TV series.
Incredibly well written. That's the best thing about the show, is that something will happen in season 1 that you're not even paying attention to. 3 seasons later, you're like, oh my God, that's what they were doing with that. Like there's constantly building the narrative and making things just better and better and better. And the character development is great. The subtleties are great. Obviously the set pieces are wonderful and the effects are great, but.
So that's what I thought I would like about it. But yeah. I was more worried about the storyline and being able to follow based on, it looks like it's so much going on.
Yeah, it's a ton going on. But the thing is, one of the best things about the show is that they're not afraid to kill off a character. Obviously, that's a huge thing with Game of Thrones. Very much known for killing off characters, and that's what makes it so good. Is with things like Marvel or these big overarching stories, like they're not gonna kill off Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like these main characters in almost every main series, they're fine. So there's no rush there. With Game of Thrones, anyone can die anytime. So it's like that opens up the narrative so much because there's so many things going around, and you never know what's gonna happen. Who's setting up who's trying to betray who, all that stuff. So it's fantastic, but I don't know if it's the show for you. But it is great, though.
I'm open to everything.
If you're down.
And I'm a nerd. So,
it's worth the investment. But
I think that's why. I don't know. I think because I was also so late. So I was. You're the first person I ever felt comfortable asking information. It's an intense crowd, So, but I do. I've always kind of wanted to watch it. I don't like following a trend. And I don't like being too behind stuff where I can't ask people questions.
But now that it's done and over with and no one's paying attention to it anymore.
It's perfect time.
It is so worth your time. It's just a matter if you want to put the time in or not. Because it's a lot.
It is. It's a lot. Okay. Because I haven't watched a single episode. I didn't give a try at all. I think I'm going to do this. Okay. It was either that or start Baku. So, So, we're going to work on that. But okay. Any other show? Because I wasn't expecting to start Game of Thrones.
Well, okay. So if you want a show that's a little lighter, that's not as big of a commitment, one of the best comedies out there, it just wrapped up, is The Good Place. The Good Place. It's on Netflix.
I did start that.
It's so good.
I did start that. I got I'm probably in the middle.
I love it. It depends on what kind of humor you have, but for me, I love shows like The Good Place, like Community, like Parks and Rec, stuff like that. The Office. It's
Parks
funny.
and Recreations was my ish.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's not it's not always super obvious humor of someone falling down or stuff like that. There's a lot of subtle jokes in there that I love. Good Place has that, and it also has the big jokes too, but it also is very emotionally resonant somehow. It's you latch on these characters so quickly, and there's a big plot twist that happens in season 1 that changes everything, and then it just gets really good. It's a great show.
Okay,
you can pick up and drop and all that. But if you're looking for a sad show or an intense show,
don't make me cry.
Black Mirror is the best out as far as pure emotional.
That's my ish already though.
Are you seeing it?
Yeah, I need new episodes already.
It's fire.
Right now.
It's fire. It's so good.
Well, I'm with that. Okay. All right. So Storm gave me some stuff to do this weekend, which will probably be done Monday because, this is Janae weekend. All right. So you ready? Minutes ended? Is that where we at? Yes. So, dude, Jordan's officially blue. Official blue, officially blue. Okay. We're definitely happy and proud of that. We are definitely on the map in terms of some of the most ghetto and ratchet verses you can ever see, okay? The memes tell it all. But we did see a good one. I'm very, very proud that I got to see 2 grown black men decide to be in a room together after extreme tension and survive and go home. So, I'm real proud of that, you guys. Are we ready for the next verses? I am. Who is it? We don't know. But they keep talking about this no limit. I'm for that, though. And Cash Money, I'm confused. But what I will say is me and Storm are definitely going to stay at the house for Thanksgiving. We not finna go out in these streets like y'all. We're definitely not getting on a plane. If y'all want to go have Thanksgiving elsewhere, just get tested, y'all. So we don't have this forcible vaccine. Other than that, it's been real. It's been a great day right here at IssaVibe. I love each and every one of you guys. Next week, I promise you guys, I'm going to have my supreme list of places that you all can indulge in for Black Friday, okay? That way, because you already know Black Friday isn't just Friday. It go down all weekend. Y'all be shopping till you drop now. So I'll have that for you guys, okay? I love what I do, and I love you for letting me do it. My name is Kandi. Of course, I want you to be loud, be heard, and be free. Shout out to Storm, the man on the boards. We'll see you next week, man, right here on IssaVibe.
See you vertical. Say what? When we're about to go, you
tripping, baby, we can take a ride. Ain't no stopping once we get going. No, don't hit the brakes unless you break it down a little more. For me, don't make me wait, I'm saying, let's play. If you're choosing, ain't no other option but to do it. Turn it up loud, now show me that vibrant side. Trying to get wild, baby, I'm a vibrant side. Can't be afraid to just let it go. Rhythm and soul to electrical. Get your groove on. Get your ass up off the wall. Come on. Hey, I came out to show out. Don't know about you. Let's believe I'm about to slide. Oh, mamas, I ain't tripping, baby. We can take a ride. Ain't no stopping once we get going. No, don't hit the brakes unless you break it down a little more. For me, don't make me wait. I'm saying, let's play. If you're choosing, ain't no other option but to do it. Turn it up loud, now show me that vibrant side. Trying to get wild, baby, I'm a vibrant side. I need you on the dance floor. Yeah, baby, I need you to dance. Bring your friends, make them dance, make them dance.
To the pedal, quick with the metal. I'ma skate the bait until the whole cake settle. Mellow, welcome to the ghetto. Stokely provoke me to do what I capello. So I'ma flip it with the dip in the flow. Right leg, left foot, put the hip in the flow. Skipping the toe, I spit magnificent flow. None of that, 100 racks, run it back. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2. On the dance floor, baby, make it do what it do. I got gin, Ian, and a bunch of my friends, and we can get it like that, cause that's what time it is. Yeah, I know you heard of my reputation. Big Snoop Dogg, I'm a soul sensation. Put the dip in your hip, put the glide in your slide. Now we can bounce, rock. If you're choosing, ain't no other option but to do it. Turn it up loud, now show me that vibrant side. Trying to get wild, baby, I'm a vibrant side. And like that. Yeah, we just scan on the one time, nephew. Let's go.
It's a vibe. But until my vocals meet this mic again, be inspired, be creative, be free. Check out me, music, media, and more at thatsflavor.com. Now that's way that.